Hey, what's going on, guys? Disrupted here, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about the first time I ever smoked weed. And I don't condone smoking weed, I don't condone drinking, doing drugs. I think that everybody should be able to do what they're comfortable doing after the age of maybe 15, 14, you know. You guys are pretty conscious enough to make your own decisions at that point, and it's really nobody's place to judge. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So this all starts when I was in the 8th grade. It was relatively early in the 8th grade. I was 14 at the time, which is very young, I agree. But one of my friends, who was actually a year younger than me, which is crazy, who already had been smoking pot for quite a while, he shot me a message and he was like, hey, this kid just hit me up and he wanted to smoke with me. Would you want to come? Because I know you haven't smoked before and I thought it could be fun. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. I'll come with you. And I did. I went with him and we showed up at this kid's house, me and my good friend. And we were sitting there and this kid busted out a big bong. And it's pretty crazy because I know that most of my friends and people I talk to, their first time smoking weed is out of like a can or an apple or a milk jug. So it was pretty cool that I actually got to use, proper hardware in a sense for my first time. But yeah, so he busted out this bong, and I remember there was something really weird about it because he iced the bong, which is something that you can normally do. It's supposed to make it very smooth, but I personally don't do that when I smoke anything anymore. But he iced it with these like Kool-Aid ice cubes, and that was just so bizarre to me because I didn't understand what that was supposed to do. But he was like, alright, who wants first hit? And I was like, I'll take first hit. And I grabbed the bong and I lit it, and I took a way bigger hit than I was meant to. I didn't know that you're supposed to light it, inhale, and then take it off to get all the smoke. So I was just sucking in, and then I lit it, and then once it was lit, I was just inhaling, and I didn't take out the piece. So after a solid second of a few seconds of just ripping the shit out of this and taking all the weed, he grabs the piece and he yanks it out, and all that and just a ton of smoke just rushed into my in my mouth and in my lungs, and I started coughing, and I was dying. I was sitting there I was coughing my lungs out, and everybody was staring at me. They were like, dude, do you not know how to smoke from a bong? And I was like, no, I've never done it before. And they were like, alright, well, you light it, you light the weed, and then you inhale for a second, and then you take it off, and then all that smoke will shoot up. And I was like, oh, okay, it makes more sense. And they were all smoking. There was 4 of us, and I was laying on the couch, and I remember I started feeling fuzzy. It started out in my eyes, I was staring at the wall, and the reflection of the wall, I could feel it. If that makes sense. I can never explain how being high is, it's bizarre. But it was fuzzy, staring at the wall. And I remember my eyes just started shutting for no reason. They were just they were leaning down, it was I was squinting. And they passed the bong back to me, and I stupidly ripped it again. I did it correctly this time, and I took a medium-sized rip of the bong, and I sat back, and it felt like I was. It's so bizarre. It's so weird to explain what being high is like for somebody, but I fell back, and I felt like I fell over. It felt like when I was leaning backwards to go sit against the back of the couch, it felt like I was sitting backwards a lot more than I really was. It just took longer than I expected. And afterwards they were like, alright, my dad's gonna be home soon, you guys gotta go. And we were like, alright, cool. So we were walking away, and I remember having my sunglasses on, and I was I don't know, seeing the sun and everything, it just made me start laughing. My other friend turned around and looked at me, and he was like, man, you're fucked up right now, aren't you? I just looked at him and started dying laughing. And then afterwards, I remember we had to climb over a fence to get like out of this apartment complex because we were walking down a hill. I jumped the fence and I fucking fell on my ass. Like I jumped off and I think my foot got caught on the fence or something, but I fell straight on like my shoulder and it hurt really fucking bad. But I just laughed so hard for no reason. My other friend was just staring at me like I just died or something. But after that, I drank some water and my high came down, drenched myself with cologne, went home, and it was an interesting experience. But just a public service announcement, a PSA: don't do anything you guys aren't comfortable with. If you guys don't let peer pressure get to you. If you're cool with drinking, vaping, and smoking weed, stick to those things. If you want to try something else, go for it. But if you're at like a party and some people are dropping like acid or some psychedelics or something, you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. Trust me, it just makes everything so much more better. So much more better. I don't think that's a real expression, but it makes everything a lot better. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please drop a like, comment like what you'd want to hear about next. I have a lot of stories about my life. Subscribe if you think I deserve it, and thank you guys. Peace.